Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this quick webinar, an example of how to connect a database to a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. The reason why we would consider doing this is to give our staff the opportunity to prepare ad hoc and bespoke reporting when management might need it. On the screen in front of you, you can see a very simple order spreadsheet. On the left side, we have our order numbers. We have the dates when those orders are made. We have our customer names, the numbers purchased, and the prices agreed. In the last column, we have our salesperson identification numbers. On the left side, you can see the different master data spreadsheets that support it, our customers, and our salespeople. In this particular demonstration, we won't review these two. Rather, we'll stick to the main orders sheet. In Microsoft Excel, we have two sheets. Sheet number 1 and the first sheet is our report. In this report, we'll keep it simple and we'll just look at the number of sales, the value that we sold, and the total number that we sold. Now I'll show you how to connect this sheet to your Microsoft Access sheet. We'll use Microsoft Access as an example for all ERP and not just Microsoft Access. The first thing you need to make sure you do is close your Microsoft Access or your ERP so that it's not live. The next thing you can do is click here on Data, and on the far left side, you'll see a box here for Get and Transform Data. We'll want to get our data and click on the Get Data tab. Depending on where your data is located, you may want to get one from a file, such as Microsoft Excel, another file, a text or CSV that's handled somewhere else that you can import, or any of these other versions. We also have Microsoft products here, Azure, which you may be interested in using, depending on how much data you have. However, today, we'll just look from a database. If you decide that you have additional sources that you want to download from, such as your ERP system, you may need to use data source settings, but the process is the same. So here, we'll come to from Microsoft Access Database. We will open our ad hoc database here, which is what we called it. Excel will then connect to the database and bring up a screen. You can then choose what tables you'd like to bring in. For our purposes, we're going to bring in two tables. We're going to bring in our orders table. Make sure you select multiply. I'll bring our orders table as well as our salespeople table. That way, we can see who actually placed the orders and which salespeople actually processed them. Then we can hit load. Microsoft Excel will then connect to the database and download all of the data into this sheet. On the query, on the little icon on the side, and you'll want to load it into a spreadsheet. So the first one we did here with our salespeople. We can then create a new sheet and rename it to our orders. We'll then download these orders and place them by clicking Load To as a table into our first sheet. Microsoft Excel will download from the system and from the database and paste it in. Now, what's advantageous with this method is that each time you open your database, or each time somebody makes an update or makes a new sale, for example, today is June 1st, we sell another set of widgets. And we can run this report each month and update by clicking refresh. and our new sale will show up at the bottom. We can now do a lookup of the number of sales that we have. And we can also do is we can put into our database a calculation value. This allows us to continue to slice the data in more ways to reproduce more reports. So now we can see that we've made 10 sales for 4,895 pounds for a total of 945 widgets. However, let's say management comes over and says, can you please tell me how much each one of our salespeople sold? Well, it's now possible to take a look and either quickly run the data as is, or we can take this data and put it into a pivot table. I like to put them into the same reporting sheet at the front, but of course this is personal preference. Now you can bring in your salespeople, and you can see how many sales they actually made. Now you can continue to see how many relationships there were, you can continue to see how much performance there was, and you can continue to slice this data further and further and further. We can continue to integrate into existing and make new bespoke reports. Contact us today if you have any questions, or if you'd like for us to show you how we can integrate more of these into your existing processes and make them more efficient. Have a lovely day.